numb me?
Do you want me to numb? It's not going to make that
No,
big
it's
of a
okay. I'm
difference.
just scared.
Don't be
Should I be
scared.
scared?
No, I've done this a billion times. Why are you scared?
It's not gonna hurt.
It's going to hurt, okay?
It's gonna hurt.
It is. I'm not one to lie, but it goes by very quickly, okay?
Okay.
Girl, you got a tattoo. Honestly, you'll be fine, I promise.
It's good? It's good?
See, whatever she's doing right now, it's to cool down your skin.
There's 23,000 people in here. They want me to do it.
Yeah, there you go. No crying for 23,000 people.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because the internet just coughed up another emotional grenade, and this one detonated straight in the group chat. Chrisean Rock, Blueface, a tattoo, a laser, and tears so dramatic they could hydrate the Sahara. Yes, this is real life, not a deleted scene from a soap opera written by caffeine-addicted raccoons. Picture this. A tattoo removal session that somehow turned into a public emotional collapse, crying, shaking, trauma resurfacing like an unskippable ad. And the internet. Oh, the internet went viral. This moment spread faster than a celebrity apology written by a PR intern at 3 a.m. People are asking questions. Dangerous questions. Was this pain, regret? A breakup encore nobody asked for? Or was it the most dramatic I'm done since someone threw a mic across a reunion couch? One thing's for sure, this makes the Kardashians look like they're living a quiet Amish lifestyle. Screenshots flew. Clips got slowed down. Body language experts came out of retirement. And suddenly everyone became a certified tattoo removal therapist with a PhD from TikTok University. This wasn't just ink getting erased. This was a chapter being burned. And what leaked next? Oh, you're not emotionally prepared. Stay right here because once you see how this spiraled, you're not clicking away. Not a chance. Let's start with the obvious truth nobody wants to say out loud. This was never just a tattoo. This was a full-blown emotional landmine wrapped in ink, ego, trauma, and bad decisions made at Mach speed. When Chrisean Rock sat down to remove Blueface's tattoo, she wasn't just erasing a name, she was reopening a saga that the internet has been binge-watching, like a toxic Netflix original that somehow keeps getting renewed. Because if you follow this circus even casually, you already know Chrisean and Blueface don't do anything quietly. They don't move on, they don't heal privately, they detonate publicly, loudly, with Wi-Fi. The relationship itself was chaos dressed as romance. From the jump, it felt less like love and more like a social experiment designed to test how much dysfunction the internet could stomach before collectively screaming enough. And yet we kept watching. Because nothing hooks people faster than emotional wreckage with a verified checkmark, Chrisean tattooing Blueface's face and name wasn't framed as a red flag back then. Oh no, it was sold as loyalty. Ride or die energy. This is real love propaganda pushed straight to the timeline. Meanwhile, everyone over the age of common sense was already placing bets on how long it would take before regret entered the chat, and here we are. The moment the tattoo removal footage leaked, the energy shifted immediately. This wasn't a casual new chapter clip. This wasn't a glow-up montage with inspirational music and soft lighting. This was raw, unfiltered, painful in ways that went way beyond skin-deep. The laser starts. Chrisean tries to stay composed, and then crack. Her face folds. Her voice breaks. Tears spill like a dam that's been holding back years of unresolved chaos. This wasn't influencer crying. This was the kind of crying that sneaks up on you in the shower when a song hits too close. And the internet smelled blood. Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. Twitter dissected it frame by frame like it was the Zapruder film. TikTok stitched it into oblivion. Instagram captions turned into think pieces written by people who have never emotionally processed anything in their lives. Some people laughed. Some people felt bad. Some people immediately accused her of clout chasing. Because heaven forbid a public figure experiences a genuine emotion without being accused of marketing strategy. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. That tattoo represented more than affection, it represented sacrifice. Chrisean publicly endured humiliation, chaos, and instability in the name of that relationship. and removing it. That's not empowerment fluff. That's grief. Grief for time lost, for loyalty misplaced, for a version of herself that believed pain was love. Blueface's shadow looms heavy here. Even though he wasn't in the room, his presence was suffocating. The tattoo removal wasn't happening in isolation, it was happening under the weight of years of public disrespect. Messy breakups, reconciliations nobody understood, and a dynamic that looked less like partnership and more like emotional whiplash, and the timing. That's what really lit the fuse. This wasn't random. This wasn't coincidental. The removal came after yet another wave of drama, speculation, and distance. People had already been questioning whether this chapter was truly over or just paused for commercial break. And then boom, tears on camera. No caption needed. The message was lagdod, but what really set social media on fire was how uncomfortable it made people feel. Because suddenly, the jokes didn't land as easily. Suddenly, the memes felt cruel. Watching someone physically and emotionally react to the erasure of a toxic bond hits differently when you've been there yourself. Everyone has their own version of that tattoo, maybe not inked on skin, but carved into memory. And the reactions split instantly. One side said, "This is growth. This is painful but necessary." The other side said, "She's crying over a man who embarrassed her." Again. And then there were the conspiracy theorists, always clocked in early. They claimed this was staged, calculated, a rollout for something bigger. Because in 2025, vulnerability is apparently just another PR tool. But watch the clip closely. That wasn't acting. Nobody cries like that on command, not without an Oscar and a therapist on speed dial. The real controversy wasn't the tears. It was what they symbolized. That this moment forced people to confront something they'd been ignoring. The entertainment value of watching someone self-destruct in real time. For years, Chrisean's pain was packaged as content. Her loyalty was turned into a punchline. Her reactions were clipped, reposted, monetized. And now, when she's literally trying to remove a physical reminder of that chaos, the internet still couldn't decide whether to empathize or exploit. That's the uncomfortable irony. The tattoo removal became a mirror, and a lot of people didn't like what they saw staring back, because suddenly it wasn't funny anymore. It wasn't messy entertainment. It was consequences. It was what happens after the cameras stop rolling and you're left alone with choices that permanently marked you emotionally and literally. And let's not pretend this didn't shake Blueface's image, too, whether people want to admit it or not. That clip reignited conversations about power dynamics, emotional dependency, and how certain relationships are glamorized until the damage becomes undeniable. Even people who normally stayed neutral started questioning how much of this chaos was mutual and how much was enabled for clicks. The silence from Blueface during this moment only amplified the noise. No statement, no reaction, just absence. And in internet culture, silence is never neutral, it's gasoline. As this footage continued to spread, the tension didn't die down. It thickened. Because everyone knew this wasn't the end of the story. This was the opening wound. And if you think the backlash, memes, and celebrity side-eyes stopped here, oh no. This was just the appetizer. What came next turned this emotional moment into a full-scale digital riot that nobody saw coming. The moment that clip finished loading on everyone's phone, the internet didn't just react, it mutated. This wasn't a simple viral moment. This was a cultural flare shot straight into the algorithm. And suddenly everybody had an opinion. They felt spiritually obligated to scream. Memes spawned faster than common sense disappeared. 1 second. People were posting slowed down edits with sad piano music like it was a tragic movie trailer. The next second, someone slapped circus music over it and turned her tears into a punchline. That's the internet's emotional range, grief or clownery, no in between. And celebrities. Oh, they clocked it immediately. You know how certain famous folks never comment directly, but they definitely comment sideways. Yeah, cryptic tweets started popping up. Healing isn't linear. Some lessons hurt more to unlearn than to learn. Translation. We saw the video. We're judging silently and we want engagement without lawsuits. Even relationship gurus crawled out of whatever podcast cave they live in. Suddenly, everyone was diagnosing trauma bonds like they had a clipboard and malpractice insurance. TikTok therapists stitched the clip with wide eyes and captions like, "This is what emotional detachment looks like." Meanwhile, half of them can't emotionally detach from their ex's Instagram stories. But the real gasoline hit when people noticed something else. This wasn't just sadness. This was conflict. Chrisean wasn't crying like someone who was finally free. She was crying like someone ripping off a bandage that's fused to the skin. And that made people uncomfortable. Because we love redemption arcs, but only when they're neat, confident, and wrapped in motivational quotes. We don't like messy healing. Messy healing ruins the aesthetic. That's when the public turned judgmental. Comments flooded in like, "Why cry over him? Stand up already. She did this to herself." Yes, the internet's favorite sport, hindsight superiority. Because nothing says emotional maturity like kicking someone while they're literally in pain. And make no mistake, tattoo removal pain is brutal. Imagine a rubber band snapping against your skin repeatedly, but the rubber band is on demon time and holds grudges. But the physical pain wasn't what people kept replaying. It was her face. The moment it twisted into that uncontrollable sob. That split second where defenses collapsed. Where there was no brand, no persona, no tough exterior. No persona, no tough exterior. Just regret punching through like an uninvited thought at 2 a.m. And then came the comparisons. People dragged up old clips of her defending Blueface like it was trial evidence. Screenshots of her past loyalty resurfaced. Tweets aged like milk were reposted with captions screaming, "This is why people tried to warn her." Suddenly, the internet became that friend who says "I told you so" instead of "Are you okay?" But here's where it escalated into something uglier. Fans split into factions. One side rallied behind her, framing the moment as a painful but necessary purge. Growth through agony. The symbolic burning of a toxic chapter. They called it strength disguised as weakness. The other side. Oh, they went scorched earth. They accused her of emotional manipulation. Said the tears were calculated. Claimed this was just another episode in the never-ending saga designed to keep her name trending. Because apparently crying while lasers cook your skin is just elite-level acting now. And then Blueface's name started trending again. Not because he said anything, but because absence speaks louder than tweets. People question why he wasn't acknowledging it, why he wasn't responding, why he seemed unaffected, and whether that silence was indifference or control. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from Chrisean crying to what did this relationship actually do to her? And once that door opened, there was no closing it. Old interviews resurfaced. Clips of arguments replayed. Moments people once laughed at suddenly felt darker under a new lens. What used to be entertainment now looked like emotional erosion broadcast for views. This is where pop culture comparisons went nuclear. People said this made celebrity breakups look tame. That this was more emotionally violent than reality TV reunions. That this wasn't love, it was addiction with Wi-Fi. Someone tweeted, "This is like watching someone delete their entire cloud full of red flags." Another said, "That tattoo removal hurt worse than my student loans." And then, because the internet has zero chill, conspiracy theories multiplied. Some claimed this was leading to a documentary. Others swore a music rollout was coming. A few even said Blueface and Chrisean would reunite again because toxic couples always spin the block. That idea alone sent people into hysterics because deep down, everyone knows it's possible. That's what made this moment so explosive. Not just the crying, but the fear that nothing ever really ends in celebrity culture. That pain becomes content. That healing becomes episodic. That closure is always temporary, and Chrisean's vulnerability cracked open a larger conversation people weren't ready for. How much of her chaos was encouraged because it was profitable? How many times was bad behavior rewarded with views? How often did people confuse trauma responses for entertainment value? This tattoo removal wasn't just about Blueface. It became a referendum on how the internet consumes pain like popcorn, and the backlash didn't stop there. Brand conversations started whispering in the background. Public image questions surfaced. Was this a redemption moment or another reminder of instability? Could vulnerability rebuild trust, or would it be weaponized against her? Every angle was dissected. Every tear analyzed. Every pause scrutinized like it was a hidden message. And through it all, Chrisean stayed silent after the clip dropped. No long caption. No explanation. No clarifying statement, which only made things louder. Because when the internet doesn't get answers, it writes its own story, and the story it was writing. Oh, it wasn't finished. Not even close. Because what happened after this moment, the ripple effects, the fallout, the reputational aftershocks, that's where things stopped being viral drama and started becoming permanent consequences. By the time the noise settled, if you can even call it, that the damage was already baked in. This wasn't a viral moment that faded after 48 hours. This was the kind of clip that permanently rewires public perception. The kind people bring up years later with a quiet "remember when?" and a slow head shake. Because after the memes cooled and the hot takes exhausted themselves, something uncomfortable remained. Reality. Chrisean Rock wasn't trending anymore because she was chaotic. She was trending because people saw the cost of chaos. And that hits different. For the first time in a long time, the narrative didn't feel like a joke. It felt heavy. Like watching someone finally sit with consequences instead of running from them. The tattoo removal became a visual metaphor the internet couldn't ignore, painfully literal. Impossible to spin. And here's where the aftermath really started biting. Opportunities don't disappear overnight in celebrity culture. They hesitate. Calls slow down. Emails get vague. Meetings get postponed with phrases like "circling back soon." Vulnerability is powerful, but instability still scares brands. And the industry doesn't run on empathy. It runs on predictability. This moment forced decision makers to reassess. Is she healing or unraveling? Is this growth or another spiral? Is this authenticity or volatility? And when executives start asking questions instead of signing checks, you feel it. Meanwhile, fans were split, emotionally exhausted. Supporters doubled down, framing her as someone finally breaking free from a destructive cycle. They saw the tears as proof of humanity, proof she wasn't numb anymore, proof that something inside her was changing. Critics, on the other hand, hardened. They argued that emotional moments don't equal transformation, that tears don't erase patterns, that crying on camera doesn't undo years of chaos broadcast willingly. And they weren't entirely wrong, because growth isn't a moment, it's consistency. And the internet doesn't trust consistency from people it's watched self-destruct repeatedly. Then there's Blueface. Whether he wanted it or not, his name stayed attached to this moment like smoke you can't wash out of clothes. The tattoo removal reignited conversations he likely thought were buried. Silence didn't save him, it amplified suspicion. People questioned his influence, his behavior, his responsibility. Even those who once shrugged off the drama started side-eyeing the power dynamics again. And that's the thing about moments like this. They reopen files, old arguments resurface, past clips get re-evaluated. Things once dismissed as entertainment suddenly feel uncomfortable under a new lens. What used to be loud becomes alarming. What used to be funny becomes grim. The relationship stopped looking mutual and started looking corrosive. And here's where the real shift happened. Chrisean wasn't being talked about anymore. She was being talked around. As a cautionary tale. As an example. As a warning wrapped in celebrity. That's a dangerous place to land. Because once the internet decides your story has a lesson, it stops seeing you as a person and starts using you as a symbol. And symbols don't get grace. They get dissected. Every move she made afterward felt heavier. Every post was scrutinized. Every smile questioned. Was she okay or pretending? Was she healed or hiding? There's no winning when the audience expects either perfection or collapse. And let's be clear, this moment didn't magically fix anything. healing doesn't happen because a tattoo disappears. Emotional detachment isn't instant. Trauma doesn't evaporate just because the laser finished its last pass. Sometimes removing the reminder hurts worse than keeping it. That's what made this aftermath so raw. Because the clip didn't show triumph. It showed grief. The kind that comes when you finally accept that something you fought for wasn't worth the damage. That realization doesn't feel empowering at first, it feels devastating. And the internet hates devastation without a comeback arc. People wanted her to bounce back immediately. To glow up, to drop a caption about choosing peace, to package pain neatly so everyone could move on comfortably. But real life doesn't work like that. So the silence lingered. And in that silence, speculation thrived. Would she relapse into the same cycle? Would they reconnect again? Would this just be another chapter in a loop everyone pretends to be shocked by? The uncertainty unsettled people more than the tears ever did. Because if this moment didn't change anything, then what was it? And that's the haunting part. This tattoo removal became a line in the sand not because it guaranteed growth, but because it exposed how much was at stake. Emotionally, publicly, permanently, you can laugh at chaos. You can meme drama. But it's harder to joke when someone's pain stops being entertaining and starts feeling familiar. That's why this clip stuck. Not because it was loud, but because it was quiet in the worst. Why it forced people to confront their role as spectators, to realize how easily pain gets consumed when it belongs to someone famous, how quickly empathy disappears once entertainment value fades. Now listen. If you watch this whole breakdown without blinking, congratulations, you're officially addicted to celebrity chaos. And honestly, same, but don't just sit there like a silent witness in the mess. This is where you step into the madness. Drop a comment right now. I don't care if it's one word or a full thesis. Tell me, was this real healing? Or just another episode in a never-ending reality show? Was that pain genuine growth? Or are we all about to watch the same cycle spin the block again? Say it with your chest. The comment section is already on fire at gasoline. And while you're at it, smash that like button like it owes you money and just try to deck you in public. Likes feed the algorithm, and the algorithm feeds us more unhinged celebrity moments that make group chats collapse. Hit subscribe like you're locking in front row seats to the next meltdown. Locking in front row seats to the next meltdown. Because let's be real, scandals don't sleep, and neither do we. The moment another celebrity sneezes the wrong way, we're already breaking it down frame by frame. Turn on notifications too. Unless you enjoy finding out about viral chaos late like someone who still uses Internet Explorer. Every upload here is hotter than Leak Team is and messier than a reality reunion with Open Mix. This channel doesn't do boring. We don't do safe takes. We don't do celebrity PR apologies written in notes apps. We do raw, reckless, headline-shaking insanity, the kind that makes you question humanity and refresh Twitter at 3am. So stay locked in. Stay nosy. Stay unapologetically entertained. Because the next scandal, oh, it's already brewing. And when it explodes, you already know where to be. Celeb insanity.